Hi guys, I'm finally here to review something that several of you have been asking me about, and it is the Lorac Mega PRO Palette 2. The one that came out last year sold out pretty fast. I did not get my hands on it, so this time I had major fear of missing out, so I had to get it. I actually did not really think that I wanted to get this when I saw some sneak peek photos. It didn't really appeal to me, even though I love Lorac eyeshadows, and my favorite one is the Lorac PRO. So I was not going to get it at first, but then, like I said, I really worried about missing out on this and thinking, oh, I wish I did get it, so I ended up getting it at ULTA. This is an ULTA exclusive palette. It's $59, and up here it does say that it's a $205 value. So I will break this down further and let you know if I think it's worth your money, and also show you how I used it today. Here's the palette inside. It is twice the size of a regular Pro palette, at least in terms of packaging. And then inside you have your 16 matte shadows and 16 shimmer shadows, which really mirrors what you get in the Lorac Pro palettes, except double, because they do have your row of matte and row of shimmer in the original palettes. This right here is 0.45 ounces total for $59. And then one of these is a total of 0.32 ounces. So if you double the size of this, it's going to be more than the total ounces of this. But I've also read a response somewhere from Lorac, I think it was on someone's blog, but they were basically saying that it should be the same size as all the shadows in here. And I'm not a pro at this, so I may be wrong, but just to give you an idea of what I was reading, it sounded something like if it's a lighter shade, it's not going to weigh as much as some of the darker shades, just the way that they pack the pigment, and that's how it varies. But when I read that and then I look at these, both of these are 0.32 ounces. So I'm thinking, if that's the case with all of these shadows, wouldn't each of these be technically different? Maybe like one of these is 0.32, another one's 0.29 or something, but this one is drastically different. It's 0.45, and then this is 0.32. But otherwise, when I look at these, they look like the same sizes as these shadows, and they are pretty hard to hit pan on. But you guys know that I love my Lorac Pro palette, the original, and I did hit pan on 3 of the shadows, so it is possible. So I hit pan on the black, pewter, and cream. They're really pigmented and they do last you a long time. So it doesn't really bother me, but I wanted to at least put it out there because I try to talk about the sizes when it comes to palettes like this. So I'll go through some pros and cons as usual. I do like the packaging on this because it's just like these, very sleek and very portable. It does come with a mirror, which is also a plus. I did notice some of them are powdery, but some of these are also powdery, and it also depends on the type of brush that you're using. So if you're using a fluffy brush, you're going to kick up a lot of dust or a lot of powder, and if you're using a flat shader brush, then you're not going to kick up a lot of powder. It also varies on the different shades, but overall I do find that these are just as pigmented and just as great as the Lorac Pro palettes. And I tap off the excess with pretty much every eyeshadow that I own, so that's not really an issue for me. The difference is that sometimes when I use certain eyeshadows, I will tap off the eyeshadow on my brush and then go in, and I still get fallout on my cheeks. That's the difference. With this, if I tap it off right on the end of my brush into a trash can or onto a tissue, and then I apply it, I don't get any fallout whatsoever. And I'm glad that they kept with the whole matte and shimmer theme with the mattes up here and the shimmers on the bottom. And now I'm going to talk about some of the cons. If you look at it like this, I'm only going to show you like this half right here. So if you look at this half, aside from this color and a couple of these over here, or a few of these over here, this looks really light. I feel like they put in way too many ivory, shell, cream colors in this palette, and it's like you have so many different highlight shades to choose from. I think 3 would have been nice, and then if they really branched out into some other colors over here and really made this palette extremely versatile, I think that would have been really awesome. But when you have so many light shades over here, they start to really look alike. Another con that I did notice right away is the packaging, the color of the packaging. When I said that I liked the packaging, I'm talking about the overall structure of the packaging and the material that they used. But when it comes to the color of the packaging, I would consider that a con. The blue, I don't think necessarily accentuates how amazing these shadows are. I actually think it kind of takes away from the shadows. I don't think it showcases the colors to their fullest potential. Last year's palette from 2014, it looked so appealing with the burgundy or reddish type of packaging, and I think that really complemented the shades in that one. And this year, I think it would have been better if they went with like a really dark charcoal gray or even a darker shade of blue, maybe like a really, really dark navy to the point where it's almost black. And I know that packaging isn't everything. It shouldn't really make you want to get something or not get something, but when it comes to eyeshadows like this and when it's laid out with all the different colors, I don't think it should be a color that takes away from the colors. So when you're looking at these and trying to figure out an eye look, I do think the blue kind of takes away from that experience. I don't know, that's just my opinion, but that's a big reason why I didn't want to get this palette at first. This is where there's a lot of color, and of course I'm going to be drawn to that area, so it makes sense. But I love tangerine. It's such a beautiful pigmented orange. Then you have melon over here, which complements tangerine really well. Forest is a really deep dark green shade, which would be great for a fall smoky eye to kind of change it up from your typical browns or a gray black type of smoky eye. This is also beautiful, this range right over here. Too many highlight shades in my opinion. I really don't think we needed that many, but over here I think they came up with really fun colors to play around with, but it's also very wearable, which is important to me because I do like fun pops of color in my collection, but if I'm going to invest money into something like this, I want to make sure that it's something that I can wear to work. 5 days out of the week I am going to work, and I sometimes do like to try out different looks at work, but I don't want it to look like it's Halloween, you know? So it's nice to have colors like this that I can still wear to work and not have it be too extreme. For those of you who do have the Lorac Pro palette, I do think this palette is worth your money. If you are a fan of Lorac eyeshadows, it's a great way to add more to your collection. If you don't have the original Lorac Pro palette and you're wondering if you should go ahead and invest more money in the Mega Pro 2 or if you should just get this, I would recommend this because I think you'll get a lot more wear out of it. Whenever someone wants to know which palette I recommend, this is the one I ask them about. I ask them, do you have this already? And if you don't, this is the one I always recommend. But overall, if you're a fan of these shades just by looking at different pictures online and you're just wondering about the quality, then yes, go ahead and get this. I think the quality is definitely here. Just make sure you tap off the product onto a tissue. So now I will quickly demonstrate what I did to get this eye look today. I went with a pretty warm brown orange theme because I wanted to really use that tangerine somewhere in there and show how it can be really wearable. So I hope you guys like that, and I'll be right back. To set the foundation and concealer that's on my eyelid right now, I'm going to be using a matte shade. This one right here called Bisque. I'm going to start off with Melon in the crease. Now that we've laid down the transition color, we are going in with a darker shade all over the lid just to kind of smoke it out. Right here is called Dark Sienna. To continue to really blend out that crease, this one is going to be tawny, so there's a little bit more brown mixed in, but it will still stay nicely within that color family. Tangerine looks pretty intimidating to me because I'm not used to wearing these types of colors on a day-to-day basis, but I challenged myself and wanted to incorporate it into this look. Taking a MAC 217 brush, the fluffiest brush of this whole look, and just going through everything. And I'm using my favorite mascara at the moment, which is the CoverGirl Supersizer Waterproof. Thought it was recording, but I guess it wasn't, so I just smudged that dark shade that I put all over the lid on my lower lash line. And I'm also adding a little bit of tangerine on the outer half. And on my waterline, this is the Milani Liquid Like eyeliner pencil in black. And I almost forgot my lower lashes. This is the CoverGirl Clump Crusher Waterproof. And for a very subtle inner corner highlight, this is Sugar. So this is the eye look. I think it's really nice if you want to go a little smoky and keep it within a fall theme. And overall, I think this is a great palette to work with, fun to play with. And I do think that you get a lot for your money because you have 16 matte eyeshadows, which is crazy because usually when you have a big palette like this come out for the holidays, what I tend to see is just a few matte shadows and a lot of shimmer, a lot of glitter. But this one, they made sure that it's just like another pro palette where you have a lot of mattes and a lot of shimmer. And if you have any other questions or things that I didn't really talk about in this video that you want answered, let me know what they are in a comment. I'd also love to know what you guys think of this palette. Did you think the same way I did, where it didn't really look that appealing? Maybe you're still on the fence about it, or you ended up getting it like me? Or did you just know right away that you were gonna get this? Maybe you just knew right away that you were not gonna get this and it wasn't something that you were that interested in. I'd love to know either way in a comment below, and that's it for now. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all again really soon. Bye!